going on, everybody? It's Q&A time. I'm doing all my questions off my Instagram today just because it's easier to read off my phone, the questions. So I will do another one for my Facebook followers. Last one I put up, there probably wasn't enough content to do one, so the Instagram ones seems to be going off, so I'm going to do it off there today. But I do want to say thanks to everyone that's following me on Facebook. I hit 5,000 followers today, so pretty stoked for all your support and all the messages and stuff I'm getting. I'm still trying to get through them all. There's a lot of them coming through, but been helping some guys out and seeing great results for them already, so that's pretty cool and inspires me and helps me keep going. So here we go. First, Instagram names, so some of them are odd to read, but I'll try to get them all right. Anyway. Jess Doyle, 85. How high do you go with your carbohydrates in the off season? So in the off season, currently bulking at the moment. Carbs, I'm probably around 300 to 350 grams a day. So yeah, that's about as high as I go. If anything more than that, I'm just going to gain too much fat. Awesome Ash NZ. Why do you love the fitness industry and what drives you to be better? Love the fitness industry because it drives me and it motivates me. Like, I just feel so, like, since I've started doing it, I just feel like a better person. I have more energy. And so from there, it just becomes a passion and a drive, and you just can't, it just becomes a roller coaster. You can't stop, like you just, an addiction, I should say. So it just drives me to be better, jumping on stage, and you just want to be the best you can be, like I want to reach the pinnacle of push my body and my mind as far as it can possibly go, so, which is a never ending journey, I'll never get there. So it's keeps me excited and love doing it, and I love helping people and reach their goals and their ambitions as well. So because it literally can change your life, so yeah, that's why I love the fitness industry. J-Boy Games, do you incorporate HIIT into your weekly routine? Yes or no? If yes, how often? I don't do any cardio whatsoever, so I don't do HIIT. Yeah, I don't do it at all, but it is a good form of doing cardio, I think, high intensity, so I don't do it, but that is a good way of doing your cardio. Richard J. Nicholas, don't like doing cardio, but want to shred, also love cake. Advice, please. I feel you, bro. I love my cake too, and I don't like doing cardio. So I don't do cardio, and I manage to shred sheerly by dieting. So, usually if I'm on stage, I want to be around 3-4%, and I get down there with no cardio whatsoever. So as long as your diet is spot on, you don't have to do cardio, you love cake, so do I. So just plan a cheat day, once during the week, just plan that cheat day, have a refeed, have your cake, but as long as you stay consistent during your week, like spot on, you can still afford to have those meals off once a week and have those sneaky little treats that you like to have. Obviously, depending if you're bulking or cutting or whatever, but you want to shred, so it's a sacrifice. If you want to shred, if you want to be shredded to the bone, you're gonna have to give up the cake, but on the way there, you can still have that cheat day. Favorite, this is from Cola Boy. Favorite exercise for red delts and exercises for developing that rounded lower pec. Red delts, my favorite would be like the rear cable crossovers. So coming down through, squeezing in through the rear delt. It's probably one of my favorites, along with I like to do, it's sort of a movement I've kind of made up on my own, but it's like a single arm row, but instead of bringing it in this way, I bring it out further, and so contracting that rear delt sort of out wide, and you can go quite heavy on it. I just feel a real good burn on that. because usually rear delts you tend to go a bit lighter on the weight, but I find with that you can go a lot heavier. Maybe I'll do a video on that and show you how I do it. But yeah, the rear cable crossovers I love. They're really good. Aaron Ball, how does your training change in off season? That's a good question. It doesn't change a huge amount in the off season. I pretty much train the same all the way in, except I will do some stronger body groups as well in the off season. I'll obviously go a lot heavier, trying to build mass. So I'll be going, a fair bit heavier, concentrating on contractions and stuff. Really trying to bring out more conditioning and stuff. So I'll be doing nice slow contractions, keeping it nice and tight. And so, like, if I'm doing physique on stage, obviously legs aren't seen, so I don't train them leading into a show. But in the off season, I train my legs really hard. Reese Tay, what motivated you to be a bodybuilder, and what advice would you give to a student trying to bulk on a budget? It's another good question. Trying to bulk on a budget. I've kind of covered what motivated me. Bulking on a budget is pretty easy. Like, if you're a bodybuilder and you're serious about your dieting, I think most people you talk to tend to eat the same foods day to day. So on a bulk, you just simple foods, man. Just your carbs, your protein. It might be just tuna, oats, kumara potato, sweet potato for you Americans, rice. You really can do it cheaply. Vegetables, and if your chicken, obviously chicken gets a little bit more expensive, and your steak and beef and stuff. But really, if you're just doing it sheerly, like, determined to do it, just stick to those food groups and you'll be fine. And they are relatively cheap, Sorry, I'm trying to cover these as fast as I can. So, question from Gaz Dalbeth. Upper chest development, bro. What's the best way to fill it in? I work on this hard. Like, it's obviously one of my lacking areas, so I'm always trying to push really hard to build that upper chest, or the entire chest. But the best way to fill it in, my favorite exercise for doing upper chest, to get that nice, that concave look at the top, is I like to do incline, like a close grip, coming in, really squeezing it. Like, you just focus on your contraction, like, to fill it in. Like, you want to get that, that line in the middle. So you want to be contracting it in, holding it, really squeezing it, trying to get that shape. Just heavy weight, bro. Just remember too, like, if the way you're trying to build your chest, like, always remember that press movement is going to build thickness, and your flies and stuff is going to build the width. And so obviously when you're coming in, that's going to build that tight groove in there, and to build the mass, working on press movements. Lexia Adams, why are you perfect? Thanks for the compliment. Fuad, I'll catch up with you soon, bro. X Maddie G XX, I'm powerlifting and diet isn't 100% clean. Can you still pull off a decent looking physique? A little like Hamish. Hamish is one of my good friends, aka Quadzilla. Well, obviously Hamish is a powerlifter and he's one of the best in New Zealand. So powerlifting, obviously you're going to have a little bit higher fats, high carbs, high protein, trying to get those big weights up. But remember, you can have the perfect physique, still being a powerlifter. I think powerlifters, this is no disrespect to powerlifters, but they tend to be lazy. They just diet, eat what they want. Fair enough. Like, you're only trying to push up the weight, so you're not worried about looking good. But in your case, Maddie, you want to look good. So just cut down the fats, man. Like, you just got to clean your diet up. So you're saying your diet isn't 100% clean? There you go. That's all you got to do, bro, is clean it up, and you'll start seeing results. You know, Hamish is a good dieter, and he's been dieting for a while now, and he looks incredible, man. You know, and he's a powerlifter, bodybuilder. You know, so, and a lot of bodybuilders pretty much are powerlifters. So you can follow a bodybuilder's diet, and you're still going to get those strength gains, obviously, for day of competition or leading in and stuff like that. I know there is a little bit of a procedure to do it for lifters. I haven't really done it myself. Like, I've done a few powerlifting comps, but, well, sorry, I've done one, but I know there is certain ways you can do it so you have your strength on your day and stuff like that. So you can still diet down, bro. You can still look lean. Like, I did the GPC bench lifting comp. I did it more as a like a demonstration to show physique guys can still lift, you know. And I was sub 5% body fat, and I was 3 weeks out from a show, so I was shredded, and I still managed to do a good lift. I still won my category. So there's no reason you can't have a good looking physique and be strong, you know. You just got to find the balance in your diet. Insane bold. I'm watching closely my macro, but when I bulk, I lose my abs and look like a fat ass. And when I cut, I got abs after a long time, but look like an anorexic. Any idea? You're probably not watching your macros closely enough, or your carb intake and your fat intake is too high, so you're losing your abs. And there's no reason. People get lazy bulking. They think it's an excuse. You can just go out and eat everything you want to. I'm currently bulking at the moment. I've still got abs. I'm still sub 10% body fat, but I'm put on a fair amount of muscle and putting on weight quite well. So if you're putting on fat, sorry, I got a sore throat. Yeah, obviously too much carbs. There's too much excess food in your diet, so your body's storing it. You know, you're bulking. Yeah, you want to put on the weight, but you're too much in excess. You know, there's no reason you can't cut and bulk at the same time, or stay lean, I should say. And when you cut your abs after a long time, but look like an anorexic, any idea? You're probably better off, if you feel like anorexic, probably need to bulk a bit longer. Maybe you haven't got the muscle mass you want. So maybe in your bulk, just concentrate on trying to get some more size on. That's always going to be a sacrifice, you know. Like, I feel like I'm anorexic when I'm on stage, but that's the game, you know. Question from B Groom 15. I train hard twice a day, one resistance training, one cardio session, with weekends off for sport, and diet well, but I'm not seeing results. What do you think I need to change? Also, how do you keep full for longer periods when try to cut? I have trouble with this, and it leads to overeating. Nothing bad, still good food, but overeating is overeating. This is a good question, but I don't know. You're not seeing results. You just need to be a little more specific on what the results you're trying to get, whether you're trying to shred or gain muscle. From your question, I'm guessing you're probably not putting on enough muscle, and because you've got a pretty heavy training regime with resistance training once a day, cardio once a day, and then playing sports on the weekend, you're probably not eating enough. Not enough carbs. You'd be burning so much, bro. Your expenditure will be very high, and I would suggest you're probably not eating enough. So get some more food in there if that's what your concern is. Just be a little more specific next time. Question from Drift the Lifter. During a bulk, do you lose your abs? I was thinking a nice lean bulk would be better to try to keep lean. How do you get on with putting on weight? Perfect question. Like I said, I'm bulking. I'm under 10%. I'm putting on a decent amount of weight. It's just finding your diet's just got to be spot on. You know, see a nutritionalist, or talk to me on my Facebook page. I can try to help you out and lead you in a direction. There's no reason you shouldn't have abs. If you look at any pro, I'm not going to say bodybuilder because those guys are full of GH and they don't have abs half the time anyway. But physique guys, generally, these guys are so conditioned, like the pros and that, they've always got abs, you know, and you don't want to be bulking for 6 months, putting on, you know, 5% body fat, 10% body fat, and then you've got to diet all off because it's a waste of time. You know, why not put on lean muscle? Like, that's what counts. Doesn't matter what the scales say, you know, you still want to, there's no reason you can't look good and staying lean and still have abs all year round. I mean, of course you're not going to be shredded when you're bulking, but so it's just that fine line of your diet. Diet's everything, you know, just remember that. And I put on weight fine, bro. Like, as long as my protein intake's high enough, my carbs are high enough, I up my fats. Like, during a cut, my fats are nearly obsolete, but I get the healthy fats back in during my bulk. You know, peanut butter, oil, like olive oil, almonds, whatever is your preference. Just get those healthy, or fish oil, stuff like that. So just, if you don't want to get fat, just keep it clean, but just up the protein, up your carbs a little bit. You don't have to go overboard. Question from Ruffix: do you think training each muscle once a week is good enough to make them grow in strength and size, or do you think more? Once a week's fine. If you're splitting everything up, once a week's plenty. Obviously, I train every muscle group once a week, but I train chest twice a week and sometimes back twice a week. Those are my weaker body groups, so I train them twice a week. I try to give at least 48, well, say 2 or 3 days respite in between, but hit them twice a week. But for every other muscle group, once a week's fine. You know, I mean, there's only so many days in the week, you can't train everything twice, but unless you got so much time up your sleeves. But it's definitely good enough to build strength and size. Just your weaker body groups, you know, just throw in an extra day for whatever your weakest body group is you think that you need to bring up. Train that twice a week. Here we go, last question. How do you build enough muscle and lose body fat at age 16? Don't want to injure myself. Build enough muscle and lose body fat. Again, comes down to diet, you know. 90% of all the questions I get is, how do I get lean? How do I bulk? How do I do this? How do I do that? It's food. Everything is food. You can do it. If you can't afford to see a nutritionist, you know, you can do it for trial and error. If you feel you can see yourself getting too fat, or you see yourself withering away, depending what your goal is, you know, just within two weeks, you should be able to see or judge how you're looking. Take progress photos, get someone else to look at the photos, your partner or a best friend or someone you trust, and say, look, what do you think? Do you think I've put on fat, or am I leaning down? And then adjust your diet to suit. So always have high protein. It's going to be the carbs and your fats that you want to adjust probably the most, to whether you're cutting or bulking. Build enough muscle and lose body fat. Yeah, so keep your fats reasonably low, and just try to play around with it. But if you have the money and you can invest in a nutritionist, definitely do it, because it makes a world of difference, you know. And if you've got your diet spot on, your gains are just incredible. Like, there's no drugs in the world that are ever going to replace food, you know. Natural foods is your source of gains or shredding, you know. So look after your diet. Yep, that wraps it up. It's 20 minutes already. So cheers for your question, guys. We'll do another one soon, eh? Take care.